राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रांजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रांजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Varivacharya Sutara Shishi Mari Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Varivacharya Sutara Shishi Mari Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBD Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mathura Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadev Dham Ki Shri Jagannathpuri Shri Kshetra Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Maharani Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki Transna Priyabrinda Book Distribution Ki Transna Prasadam Distribution Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupada Krishna Vasudevaya Krishna Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupada Krishna Vasudevaya Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Gauranga Vijnana Vishnupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Today will be the last session on this activities that will be favorable for executing Krishna consciousness. Because originally I thought it was 4 days, but then yesterday was for the Bhakti Shastri students, Vaishnava etiquette. So we'll do text 3 of Nectar of Instruction, Sri Upadesha Amrita. Yeah, please repeat after me. Utsaha Nischaya Dhairya. Utsaha Nischaya Dhairya. Tat Karma Pravartana. Tat Karma Pravartana. Sangatyaga Sato Vritte. Sangatyaga Sato Vritte. Satpir Bhakti Prasidyati. Shadbir Bhakti Prasidyati. Translation: there are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of your devotional service. So if you look at it from verse 1, 2, 3, and also 4, all this helps you to be practically equipped to perform devotional service properly. Actually, Nectar of Instruction is you can say it's a summary of all activities or everything that you're trying to study. It's in that 11 verses. Everything you want to know about doing devotional service is in the first 7 or 8 verses. After that is Raganuga, higher platform or approaching Raganuga platform. So yesterday we saw unfavorable activities that you should avoid. Today we are going to look at these 6 principles that are favorable. And so we will. So one of the things you need to understand is when we do devotional service, it is not a sentimental thing. Whatever we do, you will see there is a basis for why we are doing it. It's not, oh, I like it, I do it. No, it's not like that. There is a basis for why we are doing certain activities. It's not some sentimental thing. It's not something speculation, right? It's like, I thought I was sitting under the sun. I felt like that, so it's good. Not like that. It's no imagination that you think too long. You sit under the sun, you'll get ecstasy. Things like that. All this speculation, and that's not the fact. Here you will see that by actually practicing, you will actually find that you can have a connection with the Supreme Person that you cannot see. You can see his Murti form, but you cannot actually have a relationship until you practice. And of course, practice doesn't mean you do like a chore, 8 to 5 job like that. You cannot do that. You are supposed to develop your relationship, right? Just like how you make friends with each other, right? You go and see, you talk to them, you say, I don't like you, can you be my friend, like that. So then you become close like that. So similarly, you can also talk to the Lord, pray to the Lord, ask for His grace, but in a humble way. Because we are, compared to Him, we are infinitesimal. He's infinite. We are atomic in nature. So we can't really, due to false ego, we think we are as good as He is. But we are not. We can't even control our headaches or sickness or anything. We can't do. So we should know we are not in control actually. Someone else is, So bhakti, the process for the whole thing is actually cultivation. Cultivation and also bringing up what is already in our nature. That loving propensity towards the Lord is there, and we are trying to awaken that. So this method that you are seeing and reading in this Upadeshamrita, Sri Upadeshamrita, plus the sadhana bhakti you are following, all those will actually propel you to come to the stage of actually having a real, tangible relationship. You can actually taste it. So, but if you feel you are not tasting it, then the only reason you are not tasting is because you may not be doing it properly, or you are committing some offense somewhere, Usually for devotees it's offense, it's got nothing else. You should be able to achieve very nicely, but it's usually offense. So therefore you have to become very humble. That's why Mahaprabhu says Trenara Bhisunijana. Then you can actually experience it very nicely. So when you follow bhakti nicely, you will do all this process, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Atmanivedanam, Sakyam, all those things, So that naturally will come out in the activities that you do. For example, when you cook, there is a relationship, When you do arti, there's a relationship. When you clean, there's a relationship. So there's different abilities, different ways of relating to the Lord. You are actually experiencing it, when you really want to please them. You will experience and he will reciprocate. Of course, you cannot demand reciprocation. You have to beg for it. We're all beggars, actually. So the 9 processes help. And what Prabhupada has given is very simple. We have to start with hearing properly. Most of the time, we don't hear properly because we don't listen. Right? Sometimes did you listen? They'll say yes, but you ask them, they don't know what is it. Right? For example, if I ask you a question, you say, can you repeat? Huh? Right? It's a tendency because we like to do, our mind takes us away, and therefore we are not focused. So we don't listen properly also. So hearing is important, and you have to practice properly hearing. How do you do that? You can have tapes or classes, you hear, and then after that you ask yourself, what are the points that was? And you find invariably you missed 1 or 2 because you didn't hear. Right? So you can practice that, it's good for you. And then slowly you realize that you can tune in properly how to hear anybody, any speaker. But this is all practice and you have to cultivate it. It's not something that's suddenly come from the sky and land on your head, It's not going to work like that. This is something you have to put the effort and then it will become real. So therefore hearing is very important. You must hear from the right source, not from any Tom, Dick or Harry, any sadhu outside. They must be in a bona fide disciplic succession. Then you can hear from them. And also still, you have to read Prabhupada's book. So when you hear, you know whether they are also speaking properly or they are making a big fuss. Sometimes, there's a lot of talk but no substance, or too much gas, So it's like that, So you have to become very diligent in what you want to hear. So under the proper guidance of devotees or spiritual master, you can become, you can do everything favorable for Krishna. That's the whole idea. Okay. So yeah, the first thing is utsahan nischaya dairya. Utsahan means enthusiasm. Yeah. So if you don't have enthusiasm, you are in trouble. That means you cannot connect with the Lord. Someone can open the door, she's locked out. Okay. Yeah, you can move forward. What's that? Oh, I thought it was some pills or something. All right, utsahan means, okay, the first 3 things, utsahan, nischaya, dhairya, all these things are the attitude of a person. Those first 3. And then the other thing is, what is that? Tat karma, sangatyaga, sato vritti. Okay, so those 3 are behavior. How to do things properly, how you behave. I behave like following the principles, I behave like not associating with others, and I follow in the acharya's teaching. So those are behavior. Whereas the first 3 is attitude. How's my attitude? How do I execute certain things? How do I have confidence? How do I develop patience? Like that. Yeah. Okay, so attitude, under attitude, we'll say utsahan, enthusiasm, endeavor. Prabhupada says that endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha. Okay, it's not just you endeavor for anything, but you endeavor to please Krishna. Then that is true enthusiasm. But you have to use your intelligence. How do I execute it? How do I help someone in this? Right? So, so it is very practical, and you'll find the whole things, all these attitudes and behavior, they help you become very practical and they are very transformational. when you do it properly. You find, you are transforming, you are changing also. This is what Prabhupada mentions. And then it's not a matter, again, I mentioned it's not sentimental speculation. So we have to be very careful. Okay. Yeah. One should accept the opportunity. What is our opportunity to? Okay, what else is the opportunity? Okay, what else? What's the goal?
Go back.
Okay, to love God and go back. So that is the opportunity that is given to you. So you should take the opportunity, right? Otherwise you'll be here. You don't want to stay here. So the opportunity is presented, then we have to become very enthusiastic about going back. Right? You want to go, just like if somebody says, oh, let's go to Vrindavan, you become enthusiastic to travel, no? Right? Or let's go to some national park, we'll go and watch, or let's go to Disneyland, everyone's enthusiastic, right? Yeah, but that is a different type of enthusiasm. That's not Krishna conscious enthusiasm. Generally, without enthusiasm, you cannot be successful in anything. It's not possible, right? If you have no enthusiasm, how can you make any change in your life, nor in the work environment you are in, right? If you go to a job and you don't like it, you have no enthusiasm, you won't last long. You will, either you will leave or they will ask you to leave. Yeah. So you cannot be successful. So enthusiasm is required. If you don't have enthusiasm, what should you do? What should you do? Not just devotee. You should associate with that person who has enthusiasm. Yeah. So you find out who is enthusiastic. And then if you are very unhappy, you associate with someone unhappy, then both of you will be unhappy. Double unhappiness. So you find someone who's enthusiastic, and then you the way you get the enthusiasm is you serve them. You may be a senior devotee, but you have no enthusiasm. You see a junior devotee enthusiasm, you serve them in your own way, and then it'll rub off. The person says, yeah, let's go do this, let's do it. Then you just say, okay, let's do it. Yeah. Then you become enthusiastic. Yeah. So whatever activities you do, even at home, like your home is dirty, if you don't do anything, it'll get worse and worse. So how do you become enthusiastic about that? You have to you invite somebody home, so you are forced to clean. Good. Good answer. That's right. So, which is why you all should be inviting everyone, and it'll be much easier. That's one way. The other way you can do is you start doing it, and then you will feel the energy to do more. But if you always feel tired and you can't do, then go and see a doctor. Maybe you have some health issue. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so you should go and see and get that fixed. Okay, so when endeavor is executed with intelligence for devotional practice and so on, then that's what Prabhupada says is real enthusiasm. So you endeavor to do things in Krishna's circle. Hey, let's do this for Krishna. Let's make nice decoration. All those are using your intelligence. Then everyone is enthused. Hey, let's do a nice feast. 50 preps for the Sunday feast. Finish. But that's enthusiasm. So maybe you should temper down the enthusiasm at that time. It's too much enthusiasm, right? So enthusiasm is good, but because you all are practicing devotees, you shouldn't be enthusiastic for material achievements. Not too much, Don't become, then your material achievements will overtake your devotional service. What you need to be very enthusiastic is to go back to Godhead. Because this everything you achieve materially is temporary. It's going to go. Sooner or later it's gone. Or even if you get something now, something can happen and you have to give it up. You can be very wealthy and then suddenly you go bankrupt, you have to sell everything you bought. Or you go to a court case and somebody sue you. You have a big house and someone walk in front of your house and fall down. They will sue you. This is America, they'll sue you. Any reason to sue, they'll sue you. Don't laugh. So it's a fact. So you lose everything. It's a possibility. So therefore, have more enthusiasm for spiritual activities. You can be enthusiastic in your material things, but not like that takes 90% of your time. Then there's a problem. Mostly, it should be less. 75, 25. That's how it should be, and you should be okay. Yeah. Of course, in job review, if your boss says you're not enthusiastic, that means there's some problem. Uh-huh.
That's what I'm going to ask.
Yeah. So that means you have to show the level that they're expecting, and not too much. Or in America, if you talk a lot, they think you're enthusiastic. Agreed? It's a fact, though. I've seen that. You just talk like you know everything. Talk to the boss and say all these ideas. You don't do anything. Also, they'll say they'll give you promotion and make you one of the managers. I mean, I'm just stretching the imagination, but yeah. So, but just I can't say balance because there's no such thing as balancing matter and spirit. If you balance them, you're not Krishna conscious, right? Realistically speaking, right? So the focus should be spirit, and this you do as a duty. And then you'll be balanced, really, truly balanced. Yeah. Right. Okay. So that desire again to perfect in your Krishna consciousness is utsaha. That is what we are talking about. Utsaha. Put your effort into it. Now, generally, we can't. Whatever our situation, you cannot stop acting. That's the nature of a jiva. He is always in flux. He cannot sit down, Jiva cannot sit down. Must be doing something, must be moving around, something like that. Yeah. So you can see that. The living entity cannot do. So when you say you cannot do this, then you must be doing something. Okay. So materially we tell you don't achieve this, that means we should also tell you how to achieve spiritually. And that's where the problem is, because if you do spiritual activities and you don't get, because you're coming from the conditioning platform to a spiritual platform, there's a difficulty because you expect people to praise you. Good job, you're doing great, there's that tendency, which means you're not really acting on a completely pure platform. You need all those praises and, support. That kind of support. Everyone must tell you that. But then it can also my point is, it can also not be a favorable thing, because then you will always expect that. Why they are not saying I did this, I waited from morning till evening at the temple, I cleaned and nobody said thank you. So therefore, that can happen also. So unless you are very advanced and renounced, you will expect some kind of a reciprocation. So therefore, you must reciprocate as leaders and so on. You must thank people, and they will say, "Oh, it's okay, don't thank me." But actually, inside, yes. It's a reality. They will say, "Yes, oh, that feels so good. Yeah, thank you." But actually, you should get out of those kind of mentality. You recognize I shouldn't, And so you can pray and say, Lord, I want to be satisfied with the service. I don't want people to keep praising me and telling me all these things, Then after sincere prayers like that, and you continue your service and so on, over a period of time, you find that you are not attached to people praising you. If they praise you, you just say thank you and that's it. But you don't think about it. It's a problem if you go home and then you think, oh, this person praised me, this one never praised me. That means you have a problem. It's a self-ego problem. And it's not purifying. So you're not making advancement. If you're a sincere practitioner and you are genuinely wanting to make, then you'll say, yeah, I have a problem. Because I want people to speak highly of me. So that is something you have to write in your journal and say, I need to fix. Right? So that's very important. So enthusiasm is there in all of us. It's a symptom of the living entity. You cannot take it away. He is either enthusiastic materially or spiritually. But by nature, we are supposed to be spiritually enthused more than material enthusiasm. Because everything you are enthused about materially is temporary. Whatever you achieve is only for maybe a lifetime at the most. The day you die, 10 million people come and take everything away. If not the government, right? That's how it is. Or you may be dying and you're seeing your relatives come and say, I want this when he is dead or she is dead. And they'll in front of you, they'll talk. Yeah. Oh, that looks nice, that sari is there, and you are like, oh, I don't want her to have the sari. And then you die and you become a moth. Right? And come and eat silk saris. Yeah. So enthusiasm must be properly aligned with Krishna consciousness. Think about this and it should help you. So don't have too many materialistic goals that are very difficult to achieve. If you have that, then your spiritual goals won't manifest. Not possible. Have reasonable goals. That's all you need. You don't want too much unnecessary burden on your life. If you cannot achieve it materially, then you get angry with people. You get angry with your own wife or husband, and then in a short time you don't like anybody. Yeah? I see, confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, you will see even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he takes avatar to enthuse us. So he comes in different avatars, Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar, Narsingha avatar, Ram avatar, Krishna avatar, all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why they coming? To enthuse us. Yes, let's do it. And get out. That's the reason the Lord descends. And that's the main purpose. And so therefore it's very important to understand this enthusiasm, why we need to be enthused. So that's basically what I want to say. The next one is Nischayan, endeavor with confidence. Now what does that mean? It means I believe and I have faith. That means your faith must be pretty good. I believe and I have faith that if I do this, Krishna will reciprocate or give me mercy. That acceptance must be there. You must believe in that. If you don't believe, it's not going to work anyway. So that is what the whole surrender means. And I have confidence that I'm doing these things, and I'm doing it to please Krishna and the devotees. I'm not doing it for myself. Therefore, I have confidence that he will give me his mercy. Now, when it happens, I do not know. It can be the whole lifetime. It can be a few lifetimes. But I will not stop or give up. Okay? If you do give up, then you are not sincere. Or you don't have sufficient faith. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the whole idea here. So all of us must have confidence, become confident of the goal, and become convinced that if I do it nicely, Krishna conscious activities, I am guaranteed to go back. Maybe not this life, but next life or something, I am guaranteed. But if I do material things and I become successful, it's only for one lifetime. Then I'm gone. That's it, in trying to achieve materially, you will do some mistakes here and there. King Nirga, right? So you cannot escape. This world is full of problems. Yeah? Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Yeah. Right or not? So hard to get the glue out also. Right? Yeah. So it's very difficult, material world. You cannot fix the world so that you feel happy. If people are happy in the material world, why they keep endeavoring for more and more of everything? That means it's not satisfying. But you find those who become devotional, they want less and less material things. So similarly, in your own practice, as you are advancing, you will see that you will have less material desires. And you can say no to Zee TV, Collywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, what else wood? Hollywood. Yeah. All the wood is gone. You come out of the woodwork and you go to Krishna. Yeah. So endeavor with confidence like that. I am convinced, I have conviction, and I know that devotional service is the only way. So these things you all have to work out on your own, you can also see devotees who are very advanced or doing nicely in their service and so on. So then you get their association so that you also can become strong in your faith, right? So that will help you all. Don't say, oh, I can't do it. Yeah. If you keep saying you can't do it, then you can't do it. When it comes to going back to God and so on, you have to. Obviously, if you are a very, very sinful person, maybe it's going to be difficult because of their papa and reactions and everything will hold you back. It's very hard for one who's very sinful, which is why one who's sinful cannot actually take up devotional service. Generally, they don't. They may think for a moment, then they'll say, I can't do this. Yeah, generally that's what it is. It's holding them back. The material energy, everything keeps them down. Yeah. And then the final thing in the attitude that you should develop is patience. Right? Dhairya. Have patience. Let's see. Yeah. This Prabhupada gives an example. I'm thinking like you cannot have a child immediately. The couple get married immediately. The child is. You're not the devatas. Devatas can have children immediately. Boom, that's it. But here you have to wait a few months or at least a year for the child to develop in the womb and come. So that is patient. The lady cannot say, I want the child now. It doesn't work. You have to wait for at least some time and eventually the child will be there. So she knows the child is going to come. So she is very patient. So the same way we all have to become very patient also. So if we are completely determined to do Krishna conscious activity, then we also should develop the patience for the mercy. So you're confident that this will happen. Side by side, you must have patience also. Otherwise, it would not. Just like even the farmers, right? When they furrow the land and they put seeds, they are waiting, patiently for the plant to grow, and then finally the crops bear fruit, and then they go and harvest. And it may take 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, like that. But there is this element of patience. So similarly, when we practice, it is not like, oh, I've done 16 rounds, I'm going back to Godhead. Not like that. You have to wait for the Lord to give you sign, signal, yes, you are ready now. Right? How can you judge your own work? In some ways, yes, you can see as long as you are attached to material things, you know you're not doing good. But afterwards, you are no more attached, how do you know you're making advancement? So other devotees will see you also. And then they'll tell you, oh, this is good. And also you will feel more and more attracted to devotional services. Yeah, like that. So you can go to Krishna and say, my heart is polluted, I have many attachments, I have no power to control them, right? It's a reality. Some of us have no power. But my Lord, you have all the power. You are in my heart and you know how much contamination I have in my heart. You can understand. So you please kindly help me overcome these attachments, attachments, and then and let me go. Don't let me become afflicted by them. Only you can help me. And I will never give up my devotional service. And that's how you should pray. Then you should also think, even if the Lord gives me many obstacles, I will not give up devotional service. So there's a verse like that, Tattenu Kampam Su Samakshamanam. That's in the 10th chapter, 14th, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 14, 8. 8, I think it's 8. Yeah. You can check. Yeah, so that's how we should cultivate. And even if the demigods come to me and say, you can become one of the demigods, we'll give you all the facilities, you can move in tomorrow, you should say, no, I just want to do my devotional service. Yeah. Because the same thing, material allurements are always there, right? Yeah, your boss can say, don't go to temple, or like the Chandkazi, right? The Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, how they said, why are you going? I'll give you more money, I'll give you a kingdom, you work for me. So it's the same thing. Whenever you are doing nicely, the Lord will test to see how sincere you are. And that's when you get your promotions. So then you are stuck, do I accept or not? No, I mean, think carefully, then you'll see. Yeah. So your energies, as I mentioned earlier, should be exclusively for the service of Krishna. Yeah. And Krishna will give you the chance. So we shouldn't be impatient to show that we are ready and so on. He is always giving us chance. Every day there's chance. Prabhupada says 24 hours he's giving chance. But because we cannot appreciate very much, we cannot see that he's giving us an opportunity. But he can see, Krishna can always see how we are. According to our abilities, according to our strength, Krishna will give us responsibilities. So sometimes you will be thinking, I can do this, I can do that. But if you are not getting it, then Krishna is telling you, you're not ready yet. Yeah. So then you just serve. Yeah. And when you are ready, then you will get it. Or sometimes people are humble, then they have become the reluctant leaders. But they will become very good leaders because they are reluctant. They don't want that. But Krishna empowers them. So in the same way, we appreciate whatever comes in our way, we appreciate that Krishna wants me to do this. Therefore, we become very much responsible. So he will give us responsibilities, and we must be rest assured that this will happen to us. And that can only happen if you take shelter of Krishna or his devotees' lotus feet. without any reservation. I will only surrender if I get this, this, and this. Then that's not a true surrender. Ultimately, if you please Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate. It may take some time. It may take, just like Prabhupada wanted to do what his guru wants, but how many years? How many years from his 30s to 60s? Huh? 30 years plus, no? Yeah, he waited. So, but doesn't mean you all have to wait 30 years. Don't use that as an excuse. You should go out and do some books on weekends. Go out on Harinam. Don't be afraid. Don't think my office workers will see me. So what? This is America. You can do anything. Nobody cares. The only thing that will matter is your false ego. So don't worry about it. Yeah. So all these activities we're doing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, everything must be done with patience. Actually, you should never be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Don't be impatient. If you are prematurely pulled into doing something, you will fail. So therefore, don't be impatient. Right? So therefore, it's very important. So to be successful in Krishna consciousness, you must be patient and confident that Krishna will help me. So be patient and be confident in doing your service in the temple. And you will see all these things manifesting in your life. And so, don't break the 4 regulative principles, no illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, or intoxication. Don't do it, don't think it's okay. A little bit is okay, A little tiny bit is okay, some people will say little. So if I take a dog stool and then put a tiny bit in your water, is it okay? Why? It's only very little, no? Everyone in India, they see a dog, they'll bid, with a stick, right? Mostly I've seen that. But here, the same Indian people are carrying the dog stool, So I wonder why, So, lifestyle is changing. Actually, I was reading a recent report. India is #1 in abortion now. Let's see how far they have advanced. So it's very sad, actually. And #2 is US. But nobody knows what China is. So China could be #1 also. But the point is, everyone is becoming very fallen, sinful. Yeah. Because they don't follow any principles, and therefore you have all unnecessary problems in the world, and you can't solve it. Actually, nobody wants to solve the problem. If you solve the problem, then the economy cannot grow, right? It is, There's no support structure, then there's no need to vote and so on. There's the parties arguing, If you fix all the problems. So they don't want to fix any problems. Yeah. So we should be enthusiastic also about following the regulative principles. That's the point. And then you won't cause problems. If you don't follow, then you cannot advance. Yeah. Plus, to support the regulative principles, you must daily chant 16 rounds, at least the minimum 16 rounds. You can chant more if you feel enthused, but otherwise chant 16 rounds. Remember, you're chanting, to support your chanting, you should do seva also, service. Don't just say, I've done 16, that's it. You cannot make advancement. But if you do service and it's difficult for you, then it's good. If it's easy service, then you're not making advancement. Yeah, it's a fact. When you feel the difficulty in the service, and then you cry out to Krishna, help me, let me do, then you're connected. But if it's easy, then you think you are the doer. Generally, that's what happens. So therefore, do more service, and then you find that Krishna will bless you. So following regulatory principles, chanting, reading, hearing about Krishna's pastimes, all those, this all Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Yeah. Which is why I recommend everyone should read Krishna book before you go to bed. And it's very, very important, because then you know who Krishna is. Right? Otherwise, if people ask you who's Krishna, you don't know what to say. You say, oh, he's God, Supreme Person. But where is he living? What's his address? How many brothers he has? How many sisters he has? Right? Who's his father? Who's his mother? Where's his address? Yeah? Right? So all this is important. Then you know Krishna intimately. All right. So then the next one is, So tat karma pravartana means you follow all these regulatory principles. So don't neglect regulatory principles. It's not for your advantage. The more you neglect regulatory principles, the more you're caught in this material world. Then you have to come back. You may have to go to hell. So many places you suffer. Why you want to go through all that? We don't want to go through that. We want to shorten as much the duration of our existence in the material world. We are not meant to be here. But somehow or other we came. We applied for green card and we came here. So somehow or other we came. So we should be very careful. Yeah. All right. The other one is Sangatyaga. We want to give up the bad associates. Bad also. Why are they bad? Because they don't talk about Krishna. They are not interested about Krishna. They deny the existence of Krishna. They think they know what is important in life. Yeah. It could be jnanis, it could be bhaktas, it could be yogis, but useless. Most of them are not helpful actually. Even those who are religious, whether in Vedic tradition or other traditions also, they do not understand to the full extent of how to commit to elevate the consciousness of the people. And you can see, even though they may talk nicely and they may say the same things as we are, but then you can compare and see whose consciousness is elevating. You have to see, if their consciousness is also elevating, that means they are doing it properly. But if not, then they are not doing it properly. Yeah? So, for example, if you look at the Christian side, you can see those who followers are like Francis of Assisi, right? How they were very elevated. They followed his footsteps like that. So that is the same as what we are teaching. But those who don't follow, you cannot see that. You can see their consciousness going. That means they are not following. Yeah? They may be good people, but they are not following. So that's the difference. So you may have an associate, a friend, or colleague who may be a good person, but they may not help you go back to Godhead or appreciate what true loving of God means. They cannot express that in the way that you can also take it up seriously. So therefore, practicing sadhaka in Krishna consciousness, we should give up such association. Karmis, if you associate with karmis, they only tell you work hard, do this, go to what is that guy, Tony Robbins, all those different groups, and then you become expert, and you can make a lot of money. You can make money, but you have already sold your soul already. What's the point in having the money? Right? Same with the jnanis, they speculate and read and know so much knowledge, but then you ask them, have you read Bhagavad Gita? They say yes. Then you ask them, why aren't you surrendering? That means they haven't read it. Or you don't even say, why are you surrendering? Then you say, what must you do? What does Krishna say you should do? They cannot answer. Because if they answer, then they have to do, no? Yeah. So you have read, so why are you not surrendering? Or yogis, mostly nowadays yogis is only in the some yoga studios, not in the Himalayas. You can find some. What are the yogis do here? They all want to look good only, right or not? They all want to look good. Mostly all the yogis now, they are all women only. Right? Men don't go to yoga studio. Men go to the gym. So basically it's body only. Body conscious. For what? Huh? I look good, you look good, have sex, and that's about it. Cats and dogs lifestyle. That's what the cats and dogs do. Or hogs and pigs, Prabhupada says. Yeah. Because they only have sex and have children, and that's about it. And to give up those outside bad association, we therefore create ISKCON centers. You can have good association. And so you all should try to have make more get-togethers, invite people to your home, do some kirtan, talk some little bit, don't have to talk too much. And then you can just take prasadam and then go back. So that at least you are happy having some association. Because if you don't have association, you'll go crazy also. Right? You cannot just immediately cold turkey to, become pure next day. It's not possible, Yeah. PDS syndrome, pure devotional syndrome. You can't do that. You get a withdrawal, you'll die like that. Yeah. And finally, sato vritti. That means follow in footsteps of previous acharyas. That means, in this case, we follow what Prabhupada wanted us to do. It means get up in the morning before sunrise and then do the morning activities. Either you come to the temple or you do at home. You get up and do puja, sing glorification to the acharyas, to Srila Prabhupada, do some tulsi puja at home. If you have tulsi plants or you get some from whoever has, and you pray to Tulsi Maharaj. She's very kind, she'll bless all of you. So daily you have to do these activities. If you don't have that, if you're traveling, then in your mind you can do puja. That takes some practice, but at least, or you can listen to some Mangala Aarti songs, and then you can see yourself, and then listen to Tulsi Aartis and all like that. Narsingha prayer, yeah. Of all the prayers, Narsingha prayer is the most popular. Right? Yes? Yeah. So when you go to work, you pray. When you reach there, you pray Narsingha prayers. And then after work, you pray again to protect you. Basically, Narsingha prayers is asking for protection for your devotion and to the acharyas or your guru, like that, to protection for them. Yeah. So we follow morning programs and all. It's very important. And read Bhagavatam. Okay, in the morning, try to read before you go to work. Or if you can't, then listen to Prabhupada's classes on your way there. And then you will get more and more enlivened, enthused. Automatically, you will see when you listen to Prabhupada, you want to do something for Krishna, something like that. So therefore, it's very important. We do all this very nicely. Otherwise, you, like Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera Charana Seva Bhakta Sane Vyasa, right? Bhakta Sane Vyasa. You come together with the devotees, and then you will do everything in pure association, and you all be very happy like that. Yeah. So if we strictly follow the advice given by Rupa Goswami for being enthusiastic, for being confident, being patient, and giving up the association of unwanted persons, and then following regulative principles, remaining in association of devotees. It's going to be difficult because all of you come from different backgrounds and different karmas and all. You're going to have clashes. You're all going to have problems, but you have to give up your ego and then try to build bridges. Although I say all this, some of you may never build bridges. Some of you will become lifelong enemies. But those things will hold you back in your Krishna consciousness. So you have to learn to let it go. Maybe not now, but learn to let it go before you die. Otherwise, at time of death, those things will come up in your forefront. This person did this person, I hate them, and then you take birth in their home. Yeah, next life. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan tyajite ante kalevaram. Yeah. So you have to be careful. And then, have absolute confidence. Prabhupada said, if you do this, you can go back to Godhead. So have full faith in Prabhupada, confidence, and you will go back in this lifetime. Yeah. It's not a matter of devotional service. Is not a matter of what? Sentimental and speculation. Sentimental speculation and imaginative ecstasy, happiness. Yeah. What is the substance of devotional service? Yeah, but what is the substance? What is it? No. Service is activity. That's the substance. Yeah. The whole substance is active. What activity are you doing? Yeah. So when we endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness, it is called enthusiasm. Yes. Endeavor with intelligence is in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay, let's see. The successful execution of Krishna conscious activity requires two things: patience and confidence. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And now ISKCON is opening many centers to invite people to. Yes, what else? And practice what? The regulatory principles. Because they don't do out there. It's only here we tell them don't. Yeah. And you need complete, or what is another word? Confidence in the process. Yeah. So if you want to follow regulatory principles, you must be in the association of devotees. Otherwise, you can't do it. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much text 3. So we have some time. You can ask questions, corrections.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So we talked about when enthusiasm is low, you associate with enthusiastic devotees. Sometimes there are some extra or like falsely enthusiastic devotees. Example is like, say some person has some obstacle, like they're not able to come because of sickness or something.
Yeah.
And they express that to this devotee, they minimize that and say, oh yeah, that happens to me too, but I do it. Come, it's okay. So how to be enthusiastic with empathy?
Yes. Chant nicely. Yeah. It's the other thing that also everything is centered around your chanting also. So when you chant nicely, and then and when you're reading and you read Prabhupada's books and hear his classes, you will understand how you can properly empathize in different situations. Of course, as you mentioned, sometimes devotees they may be still enthused to go out, but they cannot see your suffering. Yeah. So therefore, that means they're still at the neophyte platform. An intelligent devotee should ask. You can be enthusiastic. You can ask. How are you? Let's go this way. And if they keep giving excuses, then you shouldn't push them so much. You should. Well, that's okay. Next time we'll go. So every time you can approach them, and then one day they'll say, "Okay, I'll come." So that way you are not forcing them and giving them an opportunity to say no also. And some people may not be able to be enthused maybe in this lifetime. Due to fear, due to attachment to material things, their enthusiasm cannot be aroused. Maybe they need a hardcore chop from Krishna, and then they will awaken. But it could be too late also, no? Or Krishna can take away everything from them. And they may still blame Krishna. So it's a challenge, but I think recognizing the signs and symptoms of the individual, how they respond to certain things, you should identify that this person is a difficult case. And then so they can go and ask them with a friendly manner, and it should be okay. Now if they say I don't like to do book distribution, that's okay, but what about coming to just walk out with the Harinam? That's nothing, you don't have to do anything. And then you take pictures, videos of the Harinam, everyone is happy, put it on your group, send to that devotee also, so they can see, and they can get enthusiasm like that. Yeah.
The other way around picture is sometimes like the enthusiastic devotees people avoid because they minimize what you have to say.
Which is why I mentioned you should not put people down. Yeah, you should not put people. You can always ask them, hey, we are going for book distribution here. Do you want to come? And they say no. Maybe next time we can go together. I will take you, and they can. They'll listen, but you cannot say, oh, I asked you 10 times, you never come 10 times, you are a horrible devotee. You can. So those are not what we are talking about. Devotee means, like you said, you feel for them. You can understand maybe they are having great difficulties. The other problem is they may not be following properly. Therefore, they cannot get the enthusiasm. So identifying what area they are lacking is more important for that devotee. So maybe someone who is more advanced, they approach them and say, are you doing okay? How's your chanting? And so on. Now, ultimately, you own you own you have to be responsible for your Krishna consciousness. The devotees can only do so much, like you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So similarly, the person who is saying no must own the responsibility of saying, I have a problem, I need help. And so maybe for them they need to go to maybe like Sadhu Sangha festival, or go to Yatra in India, and those things can help purify them. And so they can come to a point of understanding the goal of life is important, so I have to do something about it. Yeah. And at the same time, education is also important. People should participate. Like all of you are coming, listening, exchanging ideas. So this helps all of us grow spiritually also. So an individual also, as a preacher, you also need to know how to talk, what to say. So maybe you say something and the person shout at you, then you go back and tell your other devotee friends, I said this and the guy got angry, what to say? So then exchange notes. Okay, next time I'll try this. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it is tricky. One time, sometimes you get so enthusiastic, you say all the wrong things. And you may hurt the other person. Yeah. Yeah. Even I remember one time one devotee wasn't coming to the temple for a long time. So when I saw the devotee, I said, hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. They got offended. So how dare you say that to me? That means you're finding fault with me. And then I was quiet until the person went. And then I said, look, I'm genuinely happy you came. So that's why I was saying, I haven't seen you. So then they apologized, and then they said why they feel that way. So then they start telling their whole life history. No, literally, they told me their life history, why they are like that. Yeah. So then you can assure them, don't worry, nobody's judging you. You come when you want to come, like that. Yeah. Yeah. But it's a challenge, but we learn. The idea is to learn and then you progress. Don't keep making the same mistake, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result every time. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. You said like when demigods comes and you want to get the demigod position. So I just remembered that Hanuman, when he's flying to Lanka, so on the way Mainaka invited and take rest and go. Then he said, I am on the way to mission to accomplish the Ram. So I'm not stopping this time. And another when he keep going, Surasa came and she want to obstruct him. So but that time also it's earlier pleasure, now pain. Either case he didn't stop till the time he is searching for Sita.
Yes.
So the urgency is like 1 year only there, and Rama also won't stay much time. So anyhow he is too determined to go that. So we also maybe like in that position where life is short.
Yeah.
So we need to
yeah, nice. That's a very nice example. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, thank you for the wonderful class. So my question is, how do you balance between your own personal sadhana versus doing the temple services? Because sometimes you could do more service and then you feel like, okay, it's okay, I don't have to read today. Like how do you know, are you doing sufficient? Any tip?
Well, when it hinders your chanting and your other activities that you need to do on a daily basis, then you may be overextending yourself. Let's say there's service to do and you feel enthused to come to do, but then you go home late and you sleep late and then next morning you can't chant properly. So those kind of things that's where balancing is important. You want to do service, you can say I can come for 1 hour, but I have to go. I have to have work tomorrow at a certain time. So I need to get my rest. I need to get up at a certain time. So those things must be clear. But once in a while is okay. But it can't be every time. That means every week you have something that is going to disturb your life, so much so it is no more regulated. So then you should be very careful. First get your life regulated, then you can extend when you have spare time here and there. Yeah. So that way you will know you're doing it properly. Yeah. Right?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Just being practical on it. You have to be very practical on it. Sometimes no, I have a meeting tomorrow morning, first thing, I have to be there 1 hour before. So I can't wait here too long, your duty also you have to do. So you have to make it clear to everyone. Don't at the last minute tell them, I have to go, and then they are expecting you to do some service here and then you have to go. So then it disrupts their schedule also. So everything, one devotee means you are very responsible. That you are also concerned about the others' time also. So then you can balance. When you do things nicely, you get blessings of all the devotees. So your life becomes easier actually. But it's when you are self-centered, then they will start cursing. And then you have hard time balancing. Well, devotees shouldn't curse, but then we are still struggling, so we will curse.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
I have one more question. So you were saying about enthusiasm to go back to Godhead, right? But how do you constantly have that in the mind? Like sometimes a doubt comes in, like maybe I may not be able to go back this lifetime.
Then you shouldn't think like that. Yeah. Prabhupada said don't think like that. He said you work to go back. Just like how did you get your degree? You went to college, you got your degree. How? You never thought you cannot get the degree, right? You worked at it. So similarly, you work at it. It's up to Krishna. You see, in universities and all, it's your effort. But going back to Godhead, it's your effort plus what Krishna decides. So he will decide. That's why it's called causeless mercy. So even though you may think I haven't done much, but you're sincerely doing, Krishna can say, yes, you can come. He can give you a bonus, honorary PhD. Prabhupada uses that. Yeah. So don't think like you can't go back. Think I can go back if I do everything nicely. And put your heart into it and be sincere about it. Of course, if you feel genuinely you can't go back, then just pray, Lord, I know I may not be going back, but make an exception. Yeah, you can do anything, so you can make that is also a prayer. There's nothing wrong in asking to go back to God here. But if you pray like that, you have to be careful also. He may test you in difficult ways. So you can say, if he tests me, make me able to overcome the test also. Yeah. So the prayers must be always humble. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
I'll just take one more minute. I remember one of the devotee who comes to our congregation. She didn't like her job and she was praying to Krishna that, please, I can't do this job. It's very difficult for me. And it was Balram Jayanti. And the very next day morning, she got fired. So we were, when she told me that, we were saying, you have to be specific to Krishna when you have to get, no.
Yeah, so, you pray and you get something, you cannot blame him, He's only helping us, yeah.
Carefully, we should be careful while asking.
Yeah, if you say purify me, then it's going to be tough. Yeah. But you can ask for good intelligence in executing, do seva and so on. Yeah.
If no one, you want to? Maharaj, like you said that when we get the tough service, right? Like then that time, if we are not able to execute, then we should cry for mercy to get it done. So, but sometimes myself, like I try to resolve myself, but I'm not going to beg for mercy. Is that what is the problem? Why? What happens? Like, is that ego or why? It's ignorance.
I didn't get the second part. You are trying to do what?
No, when I get a tough situation.
In a tough situation, yeah.
I never go and ask.
Ask what?
For mercy, please.
Why not?
I'm not able to. That's what why is that?
You're too arrogant.
Maybe, yeah, that's what I mean.
Too proud to ask. Ego.
Maybe ego.
Could be ego. Or you could always, you get two ways you can do. One thing is you can ask, if you are not able to do, you can ask other devotees to help me out, But if you don't ask anyone, and that means you have a problem.
Maybe it's like try to fix myself. Because what happened, one of the lecture or somewhere in very early stages, I heard we should not ask anything. Maybe that is a constant.
But you're not asking for material things,
Yeah, but it become like autopilot mode for everything.
It's okay. You say, Lord, I don't know how to do this. Instead of asking that should be the last resort. You ask some devotees, I don't know how to do this. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they will teach you, the devotees. And if all the devotees cannot help you, then you turn to Krishna. Just like Draupadi, She looked at her husbands, they don't help. And finally she said what?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it should be. We shouldn't just, first thing you do only, like the woman in the pot of water. She walked and the pot fell and broke. And then she first thing said, Narayana, help me. So Narayana came. Prabhupada tells this story. So Narayana came and he said, what can I do for you? He said, please make the pot and water whole and I want to go back to my home. So that is foolishness. Yeah. So we are not praying like that. Generally, you do your service, and then there may be some difficulties in some situation. Let's say you want to go to the city and get some permit. right? For some festival and the city did not issue on time. So you go there, then you ask for help among devotees first. Do you know someone in the city? And so you try. And finally, you can't try, then you pray to Prabhupada and the deities. Help. Now, I tried everything. I don't know what to do. You give me some indication what else to do. So that is what we are saying. That's the prayer.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Nice class, Maharaj. The question is, you said when we get praised by others, that's hindering our spiritual growth. So how do we genuinely take it? Since I'm a practicing devotee.
Well,
so
this I think in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada in the purport says for a devotee who's like Sthita Pragya, when something good happens to them, they don't think they deserve it. They think, oh, the Lord is so kind, He is giving me a blessing. So I think when something bad happens to them, they're thinking, it could be worse. But Krishna is so kind, He has minimized my suffering. So they never say that they are the doer in either situation. So when the praise comes, you say, it's my Guru's mercy, it's Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So in your mind and your heart, you give that praise to them. So you become a via media. So that way you are not taking it and thinking you are so good. If you take, then you are like a block. You're no more transparent. Then you have to take the karma also. Yeah, then you suffer. Okay? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I didn't have a question about the class today, but just in general, like how did you get into Krishna consciousness?
It's a long story.
Maybe a short version if you have.
How short can a version be? How did I get? I guess short version is I always had an interest in spiritual life. Yeah, and I got introduced. I think my family was spiritual, parents were spiritual. The attraction to spiritual activities was always there. Given any kind of situation, if when you read something about, let's say, Prahlad Maharaj story or Dhruva Maharaj, those things, the interest is greater in those kind of things, or Ramayana or Mahabharata. So those things enthuse us like that. And so long story short, in college I came across Srila Prabhupada's books, and then after graduation, my brother had all Prabhupada's books, so we started reading and became more and more interested and convinced. Yeah, and that's where the journey started. Yeah, that's the short version.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, someone wants to ask?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So Maharaj, you talked about sometimes Krishna puts us on test. This might be a silly question, but so what if someone fails in that test? So next time, will Krishna give an easier test, or how it?
Generally, Krishna doesn't give you a test you can't pass. He gives you a test, and that's why it's a test. Like you go to college and so on, they don't give you a test to fail you. The test is to show you how much faith and strength you have. Yeah. Generally, we fail because we are attached to something material. And it's not that he will give you a new test. No. The same test will come in different ways until you accept that and face it properly. And then the test will go away. Another test will come. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Maharaj. So the same thing what Shilpi Mataji said, like when you get more test from the Lord, is that
is that he's giving you so that he wants you to realize and advance more?
Yes, yes. He wants you to come back to him because he loves you more than you can love him. So therefore, he's quickly purifying you and taking you back.
So the more difficulties you have in life, that means you become more.
If you pass, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, generally we see that it's not, for devotees, it's not karma usually. If you're suffering too much, two reasons. One, Krishna is testing. The other thing is you are committing offenses. So you have to see, are you committing offenses or are you a good devotee and Krishna is testing you? But in all cases, as a practicing devotee, will accept the suffering as humbly as we can. Like, I guess I am such a nonsense person that, so many lifetimes I've done nonsense. Now he's testing me, it's not so bad, It may be difficult, but we have to learn to tolerate and maneuver and do the right things. Yeah. If you are with devotees, then the journey is easier. It's not so burdensome. But you want to conquer the whole world by yourself, then you will fail for sure. So therefore, sadhu sangha is important. And when you have difficulties, you express and ask devotees for their comments or their the valuable insights so that you can apply also. Yeah. Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, humility is something which is a spiritual divine quality. So what are we actually making an effort to bring out that humility? In the sense, are we making an effort to become humble? Because it's a divine quality which will actually manifest in spiritual ways. So how do I understand?
Well, you cannot say humility is only divine, the others are not. It's one of the qualities, yeah. And you are saying it's already in the jiva, actually, The jiva has all the qualities, 26 qualities, So it is already there. But the way, the first level of humility is you accept Krishna as supreme. First stage. Or you accept, you take the japa and you start chanting. That's also surrender. So surrender is all at different degrees, every day you surrender more. Ultimate surrender is you are with Krishna already. Yeah. So every day you take a little bit more, give up your time, give up your energies, all this for Krishna. So those are marks or signs of your humility. Yeah. Or you can also ask yourself when you come to a place, when they say, can you come and clean this or wash the pot, how you feel. Accordingly, you know how much you are developing humility. If you reluctantly do, then you have some ego to take care of. But after some time you find enthusiastic to clean and so on, then you have this is a service. You're no more thinking you're humble or anything, but you're enjoying that service. So service is usually done enthusiastically and happily. Susukam kartum avyaryam. Obviously, not everyone is going to be at that platform, but we understand if I do this, Krishna will be pleased. So that is the most important thing. And if you accept that, then you can hear from everyone telling you what to do. Obviously, if someone is new, 10 people cannot go and give 10 different instructions. So everyone takes, okay, I'll take care of this area, you take care of that area, you can guide a person like that. So then it becomes like a family helping someone progress. It is all these qualities are already inherent in the jiva. The question is how it's going to come out. But performing regulative principles, sadhana bhakti, it will manifest. Yeah. you will find there are people out in the material world who are very humble also, but they are not divine. Yeah. But if you do devotional service, then the humility is natural and real. Yeah.
Will automatically come out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Just because someone is a vegetarian doesn't mean they are spiritual. Yeah. So in the same way. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Okay, I have a question, Maharaj. Generally, when you come across external news that creates some impact, right? I mean, you see all the news events that are happening in the world.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, sometimes, it does impact your thinking and all that. So,
Definitely.
is that the best way just to avoid just not reading the news, or, I mean, how do you balance that?
Okay. If you feel that some of these things are going to affect you, better to get your son or daughter to give you a review. So you don't have to look at it and read it. Why you want to waste your energy? Just tell your son or daughter or your friends. Give me a 5-minute recap of what's the world situation. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. One question I have is about the. So sometimes we have services that clashes with our work timing. How do? Yeah.
Then you have scheduling problem.
Okay, because that only during that working hours this person.
Oh, it's a scheduling problem. It's not a devotional problem.
Okay.
Right? If you say, how can it clash if you know you're going to work?
For example.
Okay.
Say we have a electrician or technician coming to the temple at certain time. That time is your
Work,
your
right?
working hours.
Then you have to find someone who's not working at that time.
Okay. Very good.
Right? Yeah, I see Prabhupada saying, ask him, he'll come and do.
Very good.
Yeah. So you find someone who can take off easily and come and do. Don't pester people who can't. That is not realistic also. Yeah, it's not practical. That's why I say it's a scheduling problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. If there's no more questions, we can. So tomorrow morning we'll come for
Bhagavatam class.
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock, right?
Huh?
7:30.
7:30.
Okay. So,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
A quick thank you note and recap of the class.
Oh, you had a recap. Okay.
But we discussed a lot.
All right.
I have few points noted down.
Okay.
So devotional service is a relationship with Krishna. Is two. We will not get taste in the devotional service because either we are doing offensive or not properly following the principles. We cannot demand the mercy. We can only beg the mercy. So endeavoring execution of devotional service with intelligence is enthusiasm. It's like Krishna consciousness way. We should stop expecting respect. Otherwise, it will bind us in this material world. Don't put highly unachievable goals that will impact our spiritual goals. I believe endeavoring with faith and I'll receive mercy, nothing but a surrender. Less material desires goes for the spiritual progress, lessening the material desire. And we should develop the patience to attain the mercy. Must take up difficult services and pray for Krishna to achieve it. And give up association. Due to that association, if our consciousness is going down, Krishna consciousness. And the final thing is practically we should put rise early in the morning and do Guru Vandana and Tulsi Aarti, read Bhagavatam, and regularly following 4 regulative principles will progress in spiritual life. Thank you, Maharaj, for another wonderful class.
Thank you.
Again, all we will meet tomorrow for the Bhagavatam class.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Bye-bye. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Jai.
Ansaka Pitrave Sakripa Sindhave Chavaitanapānve Vishnivyo Namo Namah. Jai.